a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one. that's gonna
Yes, we are fucking back, baby. Veterans Minimum, the #1 sports betting vibe on the internet. Nick Dais here at Nick Dais 10 as you can find me. Follow us at Veterans Minimum on all social media outlets. Rate, review, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers on the You're Welcome Network. The man to my left,
Man,
Mr. George Carmona.
dude, it's so cool to get the Spotify Wrapped from everybody at the end of the year, and we're popping up as people's most listened to podcast in 2025. Oh, that makes my heart so
Yo, how
fucking
cool
happy.
is that, right? Like, that's so cool, bro, because there's hundreds of thousands of podcasts. And for people, this is what I always tell people in the content space, right? Don't neglect your audience. Do we want millions of listeners? Fuck yeah, we do. Everyone does, right? But in the grand scheme of things, I've built my entire career off 1,000 people listening to my show every episode. Luckily now more people listen to the show. But I'm telling you, at the time when I moved to Vegas, George,
Yep.
that's what the numbers were, right? Don't neglect your audience. Trust me, I'm telling you as the main source and from experience, don't neglect your audience. And the fact that there's hundreds of thousands of pods out there and a couple SOBs and great girls listen to us. I mean, come on, bro. I mean,
Not only listen to us like more than any other show.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I cycle through podcasts. I honestly, Spotify wouldn't be that accurate for me. Apple Podcasts. YouTube would honestly be the way that I would have to track it. But YouTube never gives me can you fucking step it up this year? It's the end of the year, and I want to know who I consumed the most. Pause.
Yeah.
But YouTube doesn't do that. Kind of surprises me.
Yo, you know what's fucking awful and upset me? I go to sleep listening to podcasts on like Spotify. I only listen to like 3, Theo Vaughn, Bill Simmons, Joe Rogan. But what'll happen is I'll wake up to listening to like Patrick Bet David.
Oh my god.
Because it like cycle, because like say it had a similar guest. And now all of a sudden Steiny's fucking show from the Nelk Boys is in my top 5. Like, yo, I haven't listened to an episode. Like, I just wake up to it. It's like him with fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine. And I'm like, no, get this off my feed. But it just so happened to be the next thing that spirals in. And I'm like, fuck, yo.
Yeah.
Illusion.
Oh, it's bad. But YouTube, definitely do this, man. This is I love it. I was about to, and I don't know if this was just like me being egotistical, but when I get my Apple Music replay, I almost feel like I should share it out to everybody I know. I'd just be like, you're welcome. That's my Christmas gift to you, to be able to curate the perfect sounds for any time of the day. That's what my playlist has. I know it's egotistical. I will be posting it to my stories tonight. So if you're listening to it now, go into my stories. You're welcome. Merry Christmas, I should say.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of things. Week 12, the winner of the contest was David Cleveland. Shouts to my boy David from back home. He ended up winning. He inspires a lot of the conversations that we have on the show. Like when I say the group chat, he's the one that's the Jet fan. And he's like, let's go when they won that game against the Bengals.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want the draft pick or not? Right?
Nah, bro.
But I've changed. I'm a changed man. As of 4 days ago, I don't care about the draft picks no more. So shout out to you for winning that one, David. And then Ill Will, Big Willie style, won week 13. He's in the Discord, big fan of the show. He's been one of the main supporters for a lot of the stuff that I do throughout the years, big in the Twitch community when I used to be a streamer. Shout out to both of you. We'll be sending you guys some money to make some bets. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Make
yeah.
some bets. And the coolest thing about Will, he'll like send parlays in the Discord, which is my favorite thing that fans do. And it'll be like, yo, I just hit this bet and it was you saying Jackson Dart was going to score a touchdown a couple weeks ago. And then me saying McCaffrey to score twice. And like he parlays it. And it's like, we said it, but didn't say to parlay it. But that's like my favorite thing when the audience is like making their bets off our takes. Like I remember last year, and even this year too. I mean, you know, he hasn't really panned out, but like everyone was taking Barkley #1 in fantasy if they had the option because of how confident we were in the offensive player of the year. A lot of people took Bijan Robinson. Don't blame us. Blame fucking Raheem Morris in that offense.
Jesus.
So shout out to him. Shout out to you guys for following and listening.
Nick, we got to win a week. God damn it. In this Pick'em contest, free to join, by the way. You can still join. It's week to week. We have yet to come close. Like, I feel like I haven't even come in second. I've just been in third at best. And you're at the very bottom of the leaderboard. And it's tough to pick all these games against the spread. And honestly, there's times where I'm just clicking, bro. I'm just clicking. Not saying that I don't have like a side in the game, but I'm like, well, you know, fuck it. This week, it's just going to be random. I haven't won every other week. Let me fucking try this out.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much.
Okay.
How about this? Let me throw another caveat. I'm up 20 units anytime touchdown this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, around that much too. I've yet to hit an anytime touchdown parlay. Shout out to my boy Chris, Hammer Bets on Instagram. Always shows love to the account. He tagged us. He took 4 of the 5 plays that I gave out, and then he threw someone else in that he was like, he had super conviction on. And then he sent it to me. He's like, yo, bro, look. He's like, I put this shit together. He's like, yo, shout out to you, bro. He took out Justin Jefferson and put someone else in.
Oh,
and that was the guy that he had like good conviction on. But like, yo, bro, like that's what I'm saying. I haven't hit an anytime touchdown parlay, and I'm still up such a big amount.
Yeah.
It's also upsetting. I'm like, fuck, yo, I need one.
No, not even
we
one.
need one for the brand.
Bro, there was a week where you had like a 6-1 anytime touchdown parlay. You went for like some sure money and still.
Yeah,
luck
I
this
put
year.
3 condoms on when I was making that play, and it's still.
We're like, all right, we just gotta see the ball go through the hoop.
Yeah.
No luck.
You just want to see one go in, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and we got to win one of these contest weeks so that way we could stick it to the audience, flaunt the $50. We could leave it out in ones across the desk. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who wouldn't be doing that? Odell Beckham Jr.
What a segue.
Cause he's broke, bro. Do you know OBJ's broke? He wouldn't be able to put the 51s on the desk out here, or maybe he would. Did you hear what he had to say on the Pivot podcast? And what are your thoughts on OBJ making his claim that his career earnings of Nick, he has made $101 million. The floor is yours.
First of all, shout out to everyone that has sent me this clip, because you guys know forever I've been saying how I got no sympathy for you, bro. And I fuck with Odell Beckham Jr. I actually got to hang out with him one time. Shout out to Sis, Elena. She took me out in Vegas one night, hung out with Odell. Super dope. He's been in the studio in here too. Super dope, down to earth. Loved him as a Giant. Would still want him to come back and like retire as a Giant. Feel like the Giants need a grizzled vet like that. Now he does seem more mature now. However, I got no sympathy for you, bro. I got no sympathy for any athlete, celebrity, actor. If you make that kind of money, you want me to feel bad for you? Like, and he's talking about, the big example was that, you sign a $100 million contract. In the NFL, 60 of it is guaranteed. You pay half of it to taxes. You have 30 million left, right? The average salary in the United States of America as of 2024, because it hasn't updated yet, $39,000. I come from a family where my mom works in the school system. My dad is self-employed, wakes up at 2 a.m. every morning for 31 years now. Self-employed. I don't know how much my dad makes, kind of have an idea. But like, you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah.
I got friends that are all blue collar, plumbers, electricians, fucking construction guys. how can you hear this and have sympathy for someone, bro? And we're using Odell as an example for this scenario right now, but we've had many conversations about this.
Yeah.
Also, like with Paul George and the Bumble, my mental health, like, bro, I don't have, I've struggled with mental health issues. I've had them. I also wasn't making $40 million a year. And I understand that a lot of the world's problems, anytime I'm stressed out in my life, it's always been financial. When I had the mental health issues that I was having, it was financial. I was like, yo, I really want to do the podcast, but I'm not making no money. I'm taking off work, I'm doing all this shit. I owe this, I owe that. That's what all my stress is. Let's just say he brings home $30 million off this contract. How do you feel about this?
It's funny to me because these type of conversations only happen around other rich people, right? So like Ryan Clark, he's in a great spot. He's honestly, maybe Ryan Clark wasn't in a good spot. That's why he's doing media. And that's why when OBJ said this, they felt so comfortable talking about it casually. So I think that should be a goal of ours. Like, I would love for an athlete to come on here and talk about how broke they are when they've made over $100 million in career earnings, because they would never do it to a common person. Absolutely not. But when you're in the confines of another rich person who's experienced similar things, you feel comfortable and confident talking about it. By the way, we do the same shit too, right? Like, even though we don't make crazy money, we make more money than the person that's working two fast food jobs, fucking running back and forth. And the conversations that we have about our struggles to them feels the same way we feel to him. And that's just like the overarching theme that I get. And I do think that, you know, you as an athlete, nobody's going to have sympathy for you, but also you have to consistently work. You know what I mean? Like, even though you made all this money, part of his clip, he said, and what he would do with the money, part of the money would be spent on flaunting. Maybe let's not do that. Maybe let's not buy the extravagant $500 Rolls Royce on top of the grill, on top of the iced out chain, like Jamar Chase has. I hope we don't have the same conversation about Jamar Chase in 20 years, 10, 15 years. We'll see, though. This has happened really fast with OBJ, by the way. Like, entirely too fast. These are the types of conversations that receivers have minimum 8 years after they've been out of the league. Like, bro, you got paid from the Rams in Bitcoin. You're telling me you didn't already have some Bitcoin? That's the first Bitcoin you had, and now after it did what it did, you're not cashing out on it. So I don't know. It's funny. Us common people, we run with it because we're like, oh, these fucking rich sacks of shit. But at the same time, like, when you're super rich, like we will be one day, we're going to be complaining about some things. We're not going to be complaining to that level. We'll have complaints. I find it hard to, like, that's how we're wired as people.
I mean, bro, I also think of it like this, right? And a lot of people have come out that are former athletes, and they've criticized them. OBJ, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. If you get $60 million liquid and that can't last you a lifetime, you've got a problem. Shannon Sharp. Do you really need 10 houses? Do you really need 15 cars? Do you need to buy everyone in your family a house that costs $1 million or $2 million? That's what Shannon Sharp was saying. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, I don't really go to no family events. Like, I'm talking about Nick Dais, me personally. I have no issue cutting off people. And the reason why is I always knew I was going to be successful and do well for myself. I just didn't have, like, the hard evidence, right? And coming from, like, a traditional Greek family, a lot of people in my family, their family members are lawyers and they went to school and they're doctors and all this shit. And, like, my dad sells eggs on the corner to this day.
Right.
So, like, I'd go to family events and they'd, like, shit on my pops for, like, oh, Tony, you wouldn't understand this. You're not in this tax bracket. And, like, and everyone's laughing. My dad's even laughing because, like, my dad's the type of guy to, like, it's all good. Like, my dad you can't get under my dad's skin, right? Me, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to remember that shit. I'm going to remember that shit. Like, that's fucked up, bro. That made me feel a type of way. So to me, it's like mentally, I'm going to remember that. So from that, as I got older, my mom would be like, hey, do you want to come to so-and-so's wedding? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. And she's like, if you don't come to their wedding, they're not going to come to yours. I'm like, oh,
Is that the way this works?
make this decision even easier, Ma. Thank you so much. But one of the reasons why is like, yo, I'm not going to forget how you made me feel and how you made my pops feel embarrassed in front of everyone so that you could look better. Right? So like, I say all that because it's like,
It's the same thing. This is now our public perception of him. And it's unfortunate for a player that we love so much.
yeah. And I say all that because it's like, yo, bro, does every family member need that? Like, yeah, your mom. I'm not saying your mom. Like your mom, and she's been in the spotlight too with him. She's always there. Dad always there. Like, I get it. But like your third cousin, I think there's ways that you could save around that. Like, yeah, hey man, here's $20K as opposed to $1 million house. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just talking like myself. But they say about 80% of NFL players and 60% of NBA players go broke within years of leaving their respective sport. To me, though, I just can't have sympathy for you, bro, when you make this kind of money for you to cry wolf. Not all of your investments are going to work out. I understand that. But you hear stories about like Gronkowski. He never touched his like playing money. It was all endorsements. It was all social media shit.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, he said he bought like a $650,000 house in Minnesota. And then Cam Newton, who I think has become my favorite athlete turned analyst, he was like, yeah, he's like, buy your $8 million house where you're going to spend the majority of your offseason. How many NFL players do we see at gyms out here that live in Vegas? A ton of them. There's a ton of them. But when you're in fucking Minnesota or Detroit, buy a nice apartment or a nice crib, reasonably priced, and just go from there. My whole thing is I'm never going to change my stance on it, bro. I just can't.
There's things that we can take from this, and every time that this pops up, because it's going to be just like players betting on sports, it's going to be a storyline that we see continue to evolve. Watch who they do it around. That's a very, very important piece, because if you're that comfortable to talk about it, I also feel like, you should be responsible to not be like your cousins at the wedding, be pieces of shit about it. And the people in the circle need to humble one another when it comes to like, hey, let's actually not talk about this. Shift off the subject. Like, this isn't going to look good for you. Ryan Clark, I don't know if Ryan Clark in the moment was like salivating, like this is going to be the most viral talked about clip for the next week and a half, or if he was like, I 100% agree with you, bro. Like, it's interesting. I want to get his perspective, because on the show, made it seem like he was just in agreement with him. But could be a little bit of both.
I also think it's the company you keep too that's an issue. That's why I love the people that I have in my life and like the friends I got in my life, because they've always been able to be like, are you fucking crazy? You really gonna do that? You really need that? Even to this day on like little shit.
Yep.
Like, you really need another pair of Dunks? You have 17 of them. Let it wait, bro.
Yeah.
It's just something that I'll never have sympathy for someone that makes this kind of money and they tell me about, one, their mental health, and two, that they've gone broke. I just can't do it. I know it's kind of controversial. You can't talk about shit like that, but not for me, bro. Argue with yourself. Because I understand, like, these athletes get so out of touch with reality, bro. And I get it, because the people they also hang out around are also wealthy and millionaires and athletes also.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yo, bro, put yourself in a common man's shoes. I think they're going to agree with me.
Shut the fuck up.
Kinda.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's like OBJ is panicking about this now. What is his life going to end up being? Because to be honest, I think he, as a character, has got an acting role in something for the rest of his life just because that's the character that he's built. It's tough to build a character in the NFL, but he has it. Everybody knows OBJ, him. You cannot be running into this issue this early. You'll be good, bro.
Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of athlete podcasts. I think he'd be great at it.
Yes.
You think about the influence that he's had on the game. Everyone now tries to make an Odell catch. It's literally known like as an Odell catch. Traylon Burks had a catch on Sunday Night Football for the Commanders. Immediate flashbacks to Odell. Where's number 13? One-handed catch and all that shit. It's like, bro, really changed the wide receiver position. He's one of the most, because of injury, his impact on like the culture of the NFL and wide receivers outweighed his performance.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was on and he was healthy, like, bro, to this day, I argue this all the time. Rams don't win the Super Bowl without him. One, because they don't get there without him. Look at what he did in that conference championship game against the Niners. You think Cooper Kupp was running wild all year, but even Cooper Kupp said it. Matthew Stafford said it. Sean McVay said it. They're like, yo, when Odell got added to the team, it really opened up shit. Because now, like, Odell was still a problem on the field. Mind you, this was 4 years ago. And I remember that day vividly, bro. They add Odell, and it was like a luxury, and then Robert Woods tore his ACL. It's like, well, now he's a necessity. Now we need him. And he scores the touchdown in the Super Bowl, and then he tears his ACL. It's like, bro, he was on his way to win MVP. He had like 50-plus yards, 2 catches, and a touchdown. And then he got hurt, but it's like, yo, all right, he got hurt in the Super Bowl, but they don't win the Super Bowl without him because they don't get there without him. So he's a hell of a talent, but his impact and his performance, it's not the same.
Yeah.
But he's just such a like polarizing figure because before he got hurt the first time, I watched the Giants every week. They were a 6-win team every year. But the whole offense was slant to Odell.
Yep.
It's like, yo, what is O going to do this week? Dude, insane. An unbelievable talent. Injuries took away a lot of his career. But also, to put a bow on this conversation, I can't have that kind of sympathy for you. So let us know what you guys think. If you disagree with me, I have no problem with it. It's cool. I'm also pretty stubborn. I'm not going to be swung. Just can't do it. Just can't do it.
All right, you ready for this this draft? We're about to draft.
Yeah, let's do set it up. Tell the people what the draft is going to be.
Before we do this Super Bowl draft of the 10 teams that we think can win the Super Bowl, $1 a month, you can support our Patreon. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. That is how you can get access to Nick's up 20 units anytime touchdown picks. It is gives you access to the Discord once you get on the Patreon, and the Discord has been popping. Like Nick and I had said earlier in the show, people put together their own plays based on the conversations that we have in there, and I don't think there's anything cooler than our Discord community. And how do you join? $1 a month, patreon.com/Veterans Minimum.
Speaking of which, can I give some plugs?
Yeah, we had a lot of new yearly.
We got a bunch of new members. Shout out to Robert Gordon. Shout out to JD. Shout out to Ernesto Torres. Shout out to Alejandro Garcia. Shout out to K Dubbin. Shout out to Cowboys Cap. Shout out to Alex Newman. All new members of the Patreon. Thank you so much to your contribution to the show. And like George said, $1 American dollar. One less flick of the wrist at Sapphires, at Spearmint Rhino, at Club 11, at Crazy Horse.
That'd be crazy. Actually, if I'll pay for somebody's year membership, if we get somebody at a strip club, instead of giving the stripper $1, they film and they say, no. This is for Veterans Minimum this month. I'll pay for your yearly subscription. Send me that video. I think that would be a sick ad to have in the middle of all our episodes.
Oh, fuck yeah, it would be. Just some girl twerking.
I've never filmed in a strip club. Are you? I mean, you can, right?
Gotta make sure the flash is off. They might throw you out the place. I don't know why I know all this information, but, I'll be dabbling.
It's worth the membership. Do it.
Yeah. All right. Explain the draft to the people.
So, Nick and I are going to have a snake draft with five teams on each of our lists, and this list is curated based off the teams that we think can win the Super Bowl this year. So there'll be 10 teams in total. I'll pick 5, Nick will pick 5, and it's random. We could pick the Raiders if we wanted to, but we're not. That's one team that is 100% off the list. For a majority of it, we are taking teams that are listed in the top 12, 15 teams in the league, and we're making our case for them and why they should be on our team. So did I do a good job covering that?
No, that was great. And I would also
right?
say that we got this side bet.
Yes.
$200 each, right? So whoever George and I are picking, we're going to have the graphic, and the winner is going to get $200. So basically, we have a $200 bet on these 5 teams. I'm going to let you pick first, bro.
Oh, you're so kind.
Only because you did a fantastic job with the Patreon, and then you set up the Super Bowl draft. So the floor is yours. You make your first pick.
You shouldn't have done this. You should not have done this. Give me the Los Angeles Rams for my first
God, I didn't
team.
even think about that, bro. Fuck you.
$200 on the line, and I'm taking.
You.
Don't worry. When the Rams win and some of your futures hit, then you can use that money to pay me the $200 that you're going to owe me. But they are far and away the most Super Bowl ready team, in my opinion. I feel like they've played Super Bowl caliber football up until this point in time in the season. I understand they had what happened last week with the Panthers, but even in that anomaly, they kept it close with a team that a lot of people are starting to buy stock into at the Panthers. But this isn't about them. This is about how explosive the Rams can be and will continue to be on both sides of the ball. Whenever Kyron Williams wants to get going, they can get him going. Devontae Adams has become a goal line nightmare. Matthew Stafford, when he's in a dome, is going to look unreal. And it's starting to look more and more like the playoffs are going to be running through Los Angeles as the weeks continue. And the defense, Jared Verse, he's making life a lot easier for Byron Young on the other end, and they have the thick kicker, which I think is the perfect. You need that one special teams player that everyone can resonate with, that we can see all the tweets about once playoff season comes around. This team's complete. And I said all that without saying they have the best offensive mind in the game, making sure that, Matthew Stafford is comfortable, and Sean McVay. That's my first pick. Give me the Rams.
I mean, bro, listen, I cannot disagree with you. I'm pretty upset, but you did swing me and make me feel a little bit better, because you're like, if the Rams do win all those futures you have, I'll gladly. Listen, Rams win the Super Bowl, I'll give you $400. How's that? Let them win the Super Bowl. It's on record. It's in the archives now. It's out in the atmosphere in the universe.
I love this.
Yeah, give me that problem to fucking have.
Let's go.
All right. Now, listen, despite them losing to the Panthers, they are still a significant favorite to win the Super Bowl. In the last couple of weeks, they will have a couple of good tests. They do have a game at home against the Detroit Lions, the Matthew Stafford Bowl, and then quick turnaround, they play the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be a lot riding on that game. However, they play the Cardinals twice, and then they play the Atlanta Falcons. I think they could get the 13 wins, right? Now, here's the caveat. Despite them losing to the Panthers, which I properly predicted, the letdown, so I do feel a little bit better about that. I think it's going to be ridiculous if Matthew Stafford is not the MVP and if the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, and here's why. As currently constructed, the playoff teams, do you know what the Rams' record is this year against playoff teams, George?
7-1.
Very close. Very fucking close. 6-2.
Yeah.
they're beating really good teams. On the flip side, the Patriots, you look at the 10-game winning streak they're on, you know what it looks like? The draft order this year. It's
Literally.
It's the Jets, the Dolphins,
Titans.
the Giants, the Titans. All right, you beat Tampa. We'll give you that. Wow, you beat a good team. You beat the Bills. We'll give you that too. But it's a lot more Titans and teams you're going to see in top 6 in the draft
Yup.
than you're going to see this. You beat the Falcons, who are spiraling. The Rams are 6-2 against playoff teams. No team outside of the Eagles, the Colts, and the Bills have a winning record against current playoff teams. As currently constructed right now prior to week 14. And then you're looking at the strength of schedule. Matthew Stafford leads the league in touchdown passes by a significant margin. And also Drake May, they're going into the bye week. So Stafford has had the bye week. Drake May hasn't had the bye week. All I'm saying is I feel really fucking good about the MVP and the Rams to win the Super Bowl. And I think you made the correct choice.
It had to have been, yeah. I would have been stupid had I not picked the Rams. There's $200 on the line. Who do you have for your first pick?
Okay. I don't know if this is a hot take. I'm going to go with the Bills, bro.
It isn't a hot take because we know what they're capable of, but they lose this weekend to Cincinnati. I think we have to write them off. We have to. They don't have the type of playoff magic that Mahomes is capable of, and as long as they're still in the hunt, I would take that situation. But go ahead. Give me a case on if Sean McDermott can get this turned around.
Their schedule is not favorable, right? This is a bet on Josh Allen. Just doing this, bro. Putting the cape on, Superman. They play at home this week against the Bengals, which I think is a 3-point game either way. So I love the 5.5 as we added on as a Monday winner. Then they go to New England, who's coming off a bye. I am telling you right now, we're taking Buffalo in that game. We are taking Buffalo in that game.
Yep.
Then they play at Cleveland, home to the Eagles, home to the Jets. There is a possibility that they miss the playoffs entirely. However, I'm looking at the AFC playoff picture as we were talking about on the episode on Monday. You mean to tell me you're a Patriots or Broncos fan or a Jaguars fan? And oh shit, who's coming into town? Wild card weekend? Josh Allen? Maybe Patrick Mahomes? Guess what? Those two teams gonna be favored against those opponents.
Yep.
On the road in there. I'm taking a top 2 quarterback. And I think that Buffalo has done this in the past where they start to get shit clicking around this time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Buffalo still.
Buffalo, 4th best odds, the best odds in the AFC currently to win the Super Bowl. So the books agree. The books agree at the beginning of the year. Rams, Bills.
Yeah. And yo,
40-1.
you bring up a really good point because I was trying to make this point on the Monday show too, if you guys didn't check it out. This is what we were talking about. They are still the second favorite to win the AFC, and they might miss the playoffs entirely. This happened a couple of years ago. Remember that Steelers run when they were like 10-1? They didn't play anyone. They were like the 7th favorite in the AFC. Titans a couple of years ago, 1 seed. Nowhere near the top 8. It's like the books are telling you this.
Yep.
This is what they're telling you. They don't have no bias. They want to make money. And they're saying Buffalo still a sneaky giant. And just be careful. And it's segue. Do I get to go again?
Yeah,
Snake?
it's Snake.
Oh,
It's
Snake. Oh, baby. Give me, and I've been looking at this, bro. And talk about a team that might not make the playoffs. But Kansas City is 10-1 to win the AFC. Can you just hear me out real quick? This is my pick. but Kansas City to win the AFC. All we know about Pat, they play in the AFC title game every time he's made the playoffs. They're at home to the Texans this week, at home to the Chargers the following week. They go to Tennessee. They're home to Denver, and then they play at the Raiders. Do you know what I hear, bro? I hear a 5-game winning streak going into the playoffs. I hear 11-6. And yeah, imagine you're fucking the Jaguars. Oh shit, we won the division. Oh fuck, Mahomes is coming. If you're New England and you're the 2 seed, yeah, you gotta be worried, bro. Whoever the fuck wins the AFC North, you got Mahomes coming. I'm taking that. I've been looking at 10-1 for the Chiefs all week. All week. It's going to be hard for me to not make that decision, and I'm taking the Chiefs as my 3rd overall selection to win the Super Bowl.
3rd overall selection, the 2nd pick that Nick has made. You went AFC. So you picking that and not picking the next team I'm about to say just goes to show Nick's confidence in the AFC. Give me the Eagles for my next pick. The Eagles, the defending MFing champs. Jalen Hurts, he's weathering the storm right now. This is not the first time that he's had to go through the new offensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator being booed, his house being egged. This is not new to Jalen Hurts. And when we look back at Jalen Hurts' career, I'm telling you, bro, we're going to look at him as a player that went through more adversity than just about any other quarterback that you would put in that tier of, he wasn't the GOAT, but God damn it, he was competent enough to get you there. And in the playoffs, he turns into something special. That is why I'm taking the Eagles in this spot. And I feel like I have the 2 fucking powerhouses in the playoffs. Vision-wise on a roster, you cannot tell me that there's, aside from some offensive line injuries, that there's glaring holes on the team's roster-wise. If they can get the coaching figured out, which I believe they will, we have to remember that this is a new system, new process. I know that if you get the wheels rolling right around now, we started to see it a little bit with A.J. Brown. Saquon, he's got to fucking figure it out. But if he can provide, that workload that he was, half the workload that he was doing last year, this is going to be a very scary team. And I know that this year, the defensive line just seems nastier. And it's tougher. It's tough to say in comparison to last year's defense, but I feel like they improved. And when it's the playoffs and points are a premium, give me the Eagles for my 2nd pick.
There is a scenario where we look back at the conversations about Philly this year and we're like, we're such idiots.
I've been thinking that, Nick. I've been thinking it.
Like,
I really
bro,
have.
just bet on the talent, bet on the experience. They just want to get in the playoffs. Look, they have a 2-game lead, right? Because I also told you on Monday, I've been looking at the Cowboys 60-1 to win the Super Bowl. There's a 2-game lead that the Eagles have in the division. Eagles play at Chargers, home Raiders, at Commanders, at Buffalo, home Commanders. I see 3 wins at worst, right? The 2 Commander games and then the Raider game, right? At Buffalo, Chargers Monday night, even though you're catching Herbert with a cast on. So they get to 11 wins. Dallas has to win outright. Do they? At Detroit Thursday, home Minnesota, home Chargers, at Commanders, at Giants. It's going to come down to the end. But I think Philly's going to take care of business. They're looking at their schedule like, yo, all we need to do is win 3 games, and we'll be all right.
Yeah. Win 3 games early. Sit people. Get that team just right and ready to go for that first week of the playoffs. I just realized now, snake draft, my turn.
Yeah. But I'm glad that you see that the same way with Philly, because there's been a part of me that's like, they just want to get healthy and get into the playoffs, bro. And then from there, they go crazy. So, yeah, go ahead. Continue.
I have to pick an AFC team now. And I wanted... I'm going to go ahead and do it. I think that the New England Patriots have a legitimate shot because of how disciplined the team is. When you look at them as a whole, I mean, night and day difference from last year, obviously, but Stephon Diggs, Keyshawn Boutte, Pop Douglas, you got a rookie sensation at running back that is sharing time with Ramondre, who Ramondre had a big play this past week, but regardless, they're all led by Stephon Diggs, not Drake May. And I think that's a big selling point on why I think this can work, solely because at a certain point in time in the playoff run, Drake May is going to need to grab his nuts and take command of the offense. And if he does it just right and he takes command and control, I think that this team would buy in on a whole nother level that we're not even seeing yet. I think that they know it's inside of him, but they haven't seen it come out on the field in a way that motivates the entire team. I like what this offense is capable of, and they start fast. There's a lot of these teams that we've seen this year, even the ones that we've listed, that struggle at starting fast. And if you get a Vrabel-led team with a lead in any playoff game, that's a dangerous spot to be in if you're the opponent. So 11-2, number 1 seed. They seem like everything's clicking. They've played shit opponents, but they've done very well against these shit opponents. I like it.
Okay.
Patriots are my fourth pick. Third pick.
Third pick. Yeah.
Third pick.
Okay. So I need to take an AFC team just because I've already
NFC
taken 2 NFC teams.
No, you've taken 2 AFC teams.
AFC teams. Yeah. So I need an NFC team. Bro, there is no one else I like in the NFC. I really think it's a two-team race. And I'm only giving the Eagles the benefit of the doubt. The other team that I would take, I'm going to go with the Packers.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm going to go with the Packers.
I get it. I get why you did it, too. It's coming together. And Jordan Love is getting very lucky this year. You're really going to go with the Packers, though?
So here's the thing,
with the other team in that division?
I wanted to go Chicago. I'm not going Detroit. I wanted to go Chicago. However, Chicago, New England, Denver, and unless the Rams win the division, the other NFC West team, I'm betting against them round 1. First game, that's the kind of team that's Chicago. Like, Chicago reminds me of a team that like has overachieved this year. They'll be happy to make the playoffs, but maybe they're not ready yet. But it's a good step for next year. Okay. Green Bay, tough schedule to end the year. And again, a couple of weeks ago, I said plus 300 them to miss the playoffs. It is very likely that could happen too. Home Chicago, at Denver, at Chicago, home Ravens, at Minnesota. I think Jordan Love is currently the 4th MVP favorite. Don't understand that. But I think Christian Watson has been emerging. I think Micah Parsons and that defense is coming together. They have the head coach. They have the offense. If they do win the division, they're going to have a game in Green Bay. You're also looking at the 3rd favorite, if we're going off odds, to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're a team that's 2 years ago, they get to that game against the Niners where they overachieved. And then last year, they kind of underachieved where they lost that game to the Eagles. And I think now they're kind of flying under the radar. It's like, oh, Chicago, Dan Campbell and the Lions. It's like, oh, Green Bay's here. 8-3-1 on the year. They've been kind of a roller coaster. But you know what? I don't discredit them as much losing to the Panthers because look what the Panthers have done this year. Big wins. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Packers. They beat the Rams last week. So they knocked off 3 championship contenders. And I know Dallas at the time when they beat them was not the same Dallas that they are now. I'm going to go with Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm going to end up looking like a big Packers hater for sure the rest of the season. But if I'm going to stand on anything, I'm going to stand on fundamental proper quarterback play. And that's what I'm going to do. Fuck the Packers. This week we'll see. I really think that the Bears, early preview into the picks, I'm liking the Bears going into Green Bay. But you get another choice here.
I want to pick an AFC team again.
If you pick, there's one team that you could pick from the AFC that would really upset me.
Is it the Bengals?
Of course it is.
Okay. Well, I'm leaving Denver for you. I ain't taking Denver, bro.
Fuck. So you got the Bengals?
I got the Bengals, yeah. There is I think everyone's like 9-8 wins the AFC North. No, I don't agree. I think 8-9 wins this division. And I think there is a legitimate chance that the Bengals have to win this division and to end up hosting a playoff game. And if you're looking at the seeding right now, they would host a playoff game against the Chargers. We know Justin Herbert in the playoffs.
Facts.
Joe Burrow in the playoffs. This team is going to start playing. They already started playing better the moment Joe Burrow stepped back on the field. Even the defense came alive because now they're like, yo, we got number 9 back. And I know the offense wasn't really the big issue with Joe Flacco. They lost 2 games in which they scored 35 or more points in both of them. One of them, they scored like 47.
Yeah.
And they lost, or 42, whatever it was to the Bears. So the offense wasn't the issue. But we talk about this all the time. You get your quarterback back. You're like, oh, shit. Let's get the ball back. This motherfucker might do something with it if we do get a stop. And you saw how alive that defense was against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. And this week they go to Buffalo. They're coming off extended period of rest. And you know what? Shout out to Joe Burrow also for this. Did you hear what he said in that post game?
No.
They asked him about why did you want to come back to play? You have a slim chance at the playoffs. He's like, look, we still got a chance at the playoffs. I just love football. I want to just play with my guys.
Great answer.
And
great answer.
And people are still coming to the building to watch us play. And if I could go out there and play, and not so many words and not verbatim, that was kind of the message he said. And you're just thinking about it like, all these athletes that don't want to play, load management in the NBA. JJ McCarthy had an 8-week ankle issue. I think they were trying to protect him.
Oh, for sure.
Because of what it's looked like. But yeah, shout out to Joe Burrow for that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Bengals.
I knew I shouldn't have. I was like, okay, the Bengals are going to be that one player that I'm able to sneak in for my 5th pick. And it's just like, y'all must have forgot. But since they're off the board, I've gone 2 NFC teams.
These are your last 2 picks, by the way.
No, I know. All right, I'm going to go. I can't pick the Seahawks because I just think about Sam Darnold and a big-time moment, and I freak out. I think about the same way with Jared Goff. Give me the Broncos. And I hope that everything that I've been saying where Sean Payton has sold his soul this year for all these one-score wins that this team is scraping by and getting. Bo Nix is, he's got so much love in Denver that it's impossible to critique this man. But there's long periods of time in games in which he is very average. And if this defense doesn't save him, this Broncos team isn't coming from behind to shock anybody. So I'm hoping that the offense starts to hum in a little more consistent of a pace. Cortland Sutton starts getting receptions before the third quarter would be nice for this team. Sean Payton's done it before. And so I think that is what's going to make this pick look really, really good on a graphic, because next to the Broncos pick, I'm going to have Sean Payton holding up the fucking Super Bowl trophy. Just to remind you that you passed up on a Super Bowl winning coach. The Broncos are my 4th pick. And my 5th pick, or any notes on the Broncos?
Listen, the only note for me is the further they go in the playoffs, the more I'm going to be getting fucked. Because I'm just not. Listen, you got to take a stand, right? This is what I talk about all the time in the betting space. We have a couple of friends that have strong conviction on the Denver Broncos. And by all means, you can't like every team, bro.
Yeah.
It's just not. Remember when Josh used to be on the show? That one year, like 27 teams had 12 wins. You're like, bro, it's just not possible. You can't like every team.
Facts.
And I still don't see it with them. They kind of remind me of how I felt about Detroit the last couple of years. It's like, I'm just worried when it matters most, you know? So that's the issue that I have with Denver. And I'm just going to keep fading them, bro. And if they end up winning the Super Bowl, then just know I'm going to be outside of Las Vegas Boulevard with a red Solo cup asking for spare change, because it's going to be rough. But I just got to take a stand. So I'm taking a stand on New England. I'm taking a stand on Denver. I took a stand on Detroit. And that's kind of how I got to be. Look, I was wrong on Seattle. Right, all offseason, I was saying Sam Darnold, worst contract in the league. He's going to get exposed? No. But to your point, none of us have picked Seattle yet. And it's because of the Sam Darnold effect. So there is some truth to that too.
Yeah. I get one final pick here, and I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Okay.
I'm gonna ride with Chicago this year. Ben Johnson doing something that I don't quote me. Has it been done before? First year coach win the Super Bowl?
I know Barry Switzer did it with the Cowboys.
Back in
but that was like he inherited Jimmy Johnson's team.
Right.
I think that was the case.
It's been a long time. Like this would be a historic moment. And honestly, the Bears, my entire life, Nick, have been a rather below average franchise. Yeah, they made a couple of runs in the early 2000s, but as of recent, like what is happening and transforming out there is winning football, and winning football comes from a coach that is able to make players believe in themselves. And that's the difference. Those post-game locker room interviews where you get to see the way that the players in the locker room are listening to the coach. If they are just listening, that's a good football team. If they're listening intently, that's a great football team. If they're fucking dancing with the coach, that's a dangerous football team, and that's what you have with the Bears. That's why they are my 5th pick. The Ben Johnson effect is real.
Okay.
You got one more pick.
Yeah, but I got some notes. I stand corrected. It wasn't Barry Switzer. It's only happened twice.
Okay.
I was not born when it happened.
Okay.
So we got Don McCafferty in 1971 with the Baltimore Colts, and then George Sheriff with the 49ers in 1990.
Okay.
Inherited the team from Bill Walsh.
Got it.
You know, Jerry Rice and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's only happened twice. So this will be a historic thing if it goes based on what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could be. Listen, I like Ben Johnson, bro. I liked him as a coordinator. Now you're seeing it, what he's doing with this offense. It's very similar to what they wanted, what they were doing in Detroit. Two-headed monster in the backfield, Caleb on the run. You got Rome Odunze, even though he's been slacking a little bit now.
Competent tight end.
Competent tight ends, 2 of them. You got Cole Kmet and Loveland also. So, yeah, I like that. Okay, my last pick.
Yes.
I need an NFC team just to have,
some balance.
I have Bills, Chiefs, Packers, Bengals. I need some balance. My options are Seattle, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Carolina, 49ers. Not doing Seattle. Not doing Carolina. I don't want to get that crazy. I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys. If they do get in. Now, they would need to win the division. It's weird because they would have to win the division where Philly can get in as a wild card.
Right.
It's a little bit of a weird dynamic there.
Yeah.
But that's possible. So I'm going to go with Dallas because right now, the way they are playing, and we said it, we say it all the time, you need to judge teams off what they are right now. They're peaking post-Thanksgiving. This is where you want the teams. That's why a team like Buffalo may be running the table. Cincinnati may be running the table. I think Kansas City has potential to go on a 5-game winning streak going into the playoffs. Dallas also, too, you know? So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Dak playing at an MVP level. He is on fire right now. And Quinnen Williams becoming the big focal point of that trade that they made at the deadline. I'm not saying he replaced Micah Parsons, but they are better against the run with him. Mm-hmm. And he's coming off a monster game on Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. So to recap, I got Bills, Chiefs, Packers, Bengals, and the Cowboys. George, what do you got?
I got the Rams, the Eagles, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Bears. It's kind of like you're old school, I'm new school with the Patriots and the Bears, and you going with the Chiefs and the Bills. So it's a little old school, new school type of battle we got going here. $200 on the line. One of these teams is going to win the Super Bowl. What happens if none of these teams win the Super Bowl? We didn't discuss that.
And listen,
impossible?
No, not impossible at all. We left off Seattle.
We left off possibly the Texans,
which I want to give an honorable mention.
They would be it,
bro. So I think the Texans. I already told you that I think the Colts don't win another game the rest of the year.
Yep.
Jaguars and Texans. I don't know if the Texans could catch the Jaguars, but man, oh man, do I want to see that defense in the playoffs. That defense in the playoffs, I think, can make a lot of noise, and that'll be something that you would not want to play them.
Yep.
That fucking defense is no joke.
Yep.
So the Texans, yeah. I think of the teams we left off, it'd be the Texans, and it would be Seattle. That's it.
Could happen.
Yeah, it definitely could
happen.
It definitely could. Bro, before we get into our picks, a little bit of a NBA note I wanted to just put on your radar. I know we don't talk too much NBA since we had CJ Watson on just because we're in like the heart of football season. But have you been following what's happening with the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Well, the fact that they can't seem to lose games, Nick. They are unreal. And you had told me something earlier about the draft picks.
Bro, so right now on NBA Twitter, there's like and in NBA circles, there is a uproar about what potentially can happen this year. And it's the fact that right now, as presently constructed, the Oklahoma City Thunder are 21-1. It is the second best start in NBA history through 22 games when the Warriors, when they had the 73 wins, they started off 22-0. That's not the uproar. It's not the uproar that they just got Jalen Williams back, was, didn't play until recently. It's the fact that they have not one, but 2 top 6 picks next year. On top of all these amazing rookie contracts, on top of SGA being a generational talent, on top of Chet, Mitchell, who's come along. Obviously, we know about Wallace. You know about Caruso. You know about the depth that they have. They could beat you in so many different facets. But the fact that right now they have the Clippers and the Jazz pick from trades that they've made years ago, they might win the title, bro, go back-to-back, potentially break the single-game wins record, and then get 2 top 6 picks. Based on and we know it's a lottery, but, bro, how fucking crazy is that, dude?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the model that everybody tries to replicate from here on out. They've made the price of draft picks skyrocket across all sports because everybody sees this as the new guaranteed path to success. Be willing to suck really bad and look very stupid for a few years. But if you can land, and I know they didn't draft SGA, but if you can land a premier talent to grow around these young people, you catch lightning in a bottle, I mean, shit, it's worth it. But do you agree with me that draft picks after OKC has done what they've done has now made it way more valuable? Like teams don't want to give anything up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. But like you also gotta remember they're still benefiting from this Paul George trade with the Clippers. And Paul George ain't even there anymore, bro.
Right.
So they're still paying the tax on that. And the original trade, the Clippers got Paul George, the Thunder got Gallinari, Trey Mann, Jalen Williams, Dylan Jones, Thomas Sorber, the 2026 first round pick, which is next year, and SGA. They got SGA after his rookie year. And obviously you need to get lucky because like there were flashes. If you look, someone put an amazing TikTok I saw. I wish I would have saved it, but they did amazing work. I think if you just look up like SGA rookie year Clippers, there's like an 8-minute video on TikTok where it's like, how did you not see this? Like a young Kawhi, young Kobe, just his mannerisms, how calm he looked as a rookie, bro. And to give all of that up, you got to also factor in that like Kawhi probably don't go there unless they do bring Paul George. So basically this trade was for Paul George and Kawhi, but look what it turned out to. DNP and overpaid. That's what this trade turned out to. So it's just crazy, man. I wanted to just put that out there and just address it, how wild it is. They're so young. They've already accomplished everything that they needed to. And like now, you know, when you start off 21-1, you're probably like, fuck it, let's go for that record.
Yeah.
Like, why not? And the difference between them and that Warriors team is they're so much younger and they've already won, even though the Warriors had won too. But it's like, bro, our second unit dominates games.
Right.
It's just crazy, yo. So shout out to the Thunder. I do have them parlayed in a bunch of like crazy mega ticket futures. Rams, Thunder, Spain, Portugal, combinations of Bills, Rams, Thunder, Knicks. So I got a bunch of shit going on. So yeah, I just wanted to address that. Okay. Week 14 picks, George.
Let's let the people know how good we've been doing.
Okay, so I am 35, 32, and 2 as of week 13. Trust Me is 9 and 5. Toxic One is 10 and 4. Becky is 7, 6 and 1. In This Economy is 4 and 10. Ursulita is 6, 7 and 1. What are you?
I am 34, 37 and 1. My Ursulita is 6 and 7. Ayo. In This Economy, I am 8 and 9. My Becky is 7 and 7. Toxic One, 8, 5 and 1. And my Trust Me, which started off 0 and 6, is now 5 and 9. We're cooking. We're back in the lab. And Nick, this week's slate, I'm very confident. I think this is going to be the first clean 5 and 0 that I've had, kind of like stress-free. When I was making these picks, they came very easy to me. Do you want me to start, or do you have a pick that you have strong vindication on that you want to mention?
I would love for you to start, but I do want to mention one thing. They always talk about parity in the NFL, but entering week 14, there are currently 17 teams, George, listed at 50-1 odds to win the Super Bowl or less. So like 50-1, 40-1, 18-1. That is tied for the most of any season going back to 2010. The previous high was 15 in 2017. So again, there is a bunch of teams that are kind of grouped there. And if you want to go even deeper, pause, we have 10 teams that are 20-1 or less, which is the most since we had 11 in 2010. So like, we always talk about the top 6. Well, the way it's priced, it's like maybe the top 10.
Yeah.
So just something to consider as you're watching these next couple of weeks. So lead us off with the Trust Me, since it's hot. It's technically hot.
Trust Me, this week, I had mentioned it earlier, Bears plus 6.5. This is a team heading into Lambeau in a game that is going to decide a lot of division tiebreakers. Getting 6.5 points with the way that this team has been able to keep games close, to me, seems like free money. And hear me out on this. The ball in football is shaped the way it's shaped because it's not a consistent roll. It bounces left, it bounces right, and year in and year out, your turnover differential can be the difference of you having a 10-2 season and a 2-10 season. The Bears have been extremely turnover friendly this year. They're plus 17 through 12 games. The best mark in the NFL by 8 turnovers. Chicago has 17 interceptions, the most in the league. The Bears have now won 5 straight games by single digits. And all that means is that I'm betting against Jordan Love and his shitty passing mechanics. And if the best team in the league, interception-wise, can help prove my point, I'll be even happier. And they're getting the luck on the one-score possessions. This is why we love football. I've been telling this to Cameron. It's fucking shaped that way for a reason. Or else there would be no parity in the league. But the way that the Bears have been playing and the ball's rolling their way and the momentum is hot, coming off of the biggest win that the Bears have had in the last fucking 10 years. And they're 6.5 point dogs against their rival, division rival. Did this line make sense to you?
No, it did not. It did not. I like it. I think for me, it's the Bears or pass in this. Chicago just finds a way, bro. They're one of those teams where you have this happen every year. You're like, how the fuck did they pull off that win? And that seems to be what the Chicago Bears are this year. So I'm with you on that. I do like that pick. Okay. I am going to go with my trust me also. The Bengals of Cincinnati plus 5.5. Give me that as my trust me. Look, this is the game that if they do win it, I think you see them go from 10-1 to win the division to plus 300 immediately. So if you think, how about this? Here's an extra caveat, bonus pick. If you think the Bengals are going to win this game against the Bills in Buffalo, don't bet them. Bet them to win the AFC North at 10-1. Bet that instead. Because then after that, we've talked about the schedule on the last episode. This is the game where you're like, fuck, do they get by Buffalo? Because look, Buffalo needs this game too. Mm-hmm. You know, Buffalo's not in a position to be cruising. They're not going to catch the Pats. But you got to worry, watch over your shoulder like, fuck, motherfuckers is lurking.
Right.
With that wild card. So I would say this. I love the Bengals plus 5.5 to cover against Buffalo this week. And as a caveat, bonus, I don't even know where we would categorize this as, but if you think they actually beat the Bills this week, take them to win the division now as you're watching this clip at 10-1. Because come Monday, they're plus 300. Especially if Pittsburgh plays Baltimore, so that ain't I wish they were playing someone else, but I'm telling you, play it this way. That's how I'm going to play it. Trust me, Bengals plus 5.5.
Love it. Let's go into our toxic one. The toxic one. You're either taking the dog in this situation or it's a pass. You are not making this bet. Bottom line, the toxic one this week. I think we both have the same one. So I think we should say it at the same time to see if we're best friends. The most toxic bet of the week. 3, 2, 1.
Rams.
Vikings minus 2.5.
Whoa. Okay.
So we aren't best friends.
We're not. No.
But I'll start with, the Vikings as favorites, Nick.
Oh, I'm gonna break your sweetheart. I am going to break your sweetheart.
Oh my God. Break my heart now. Because my entire case for the Vikings, who are hosting the Commanders this weekend as favorites, and why you should not bet them, is strictly based on quarterback play. And I know there's a lot of stats that go the reverse way of teams that just got shut out. Their offense ignites the next game and they cover the spread and they're good straight up. But I don't give a fuck. This is a different situation. The Vikings are in peril. How the fuck are they favorited in this matchup? After the Commanders go toe-to-toe with one of the AFC's best. Fill me in.
This is my Becky.
Wow.
For the exact reasons that you mentioned. Toe-to-toe, lose in overtime to a Super Bowl favorite, a team that is going for the top seed in the AFC. They're going to get J.J. McCarthy back. And I know we've been shitting on him for many reasons. He gave himself his own nickname and it's been a nightmare since. However, Brosmer came in last week. And it was, if McCarthy's here, this guy was in the fucking dirt. You can't even see my hand. That's how bad it was. McCarthy comes back. 85% of the bets are coming in on the Commanders. They're at home. If there's ever a week for this offense to get it together, it's playing this Commanders defense that you can move the ball on. Addison, Jefferson, a parlay of both of them to score is 14-1. This is the week for that kind of shit. And I think it's a good matchup for them. It's why it's my Becky. I love seeing a team did they get shut out by Seattle? I think they got shut out. They got shut out by Seattle.
Bubbles.
And then you got the Commanders losing in overtime to the Broncos. And they're at home. They're going to get their quarterback back. Becky, marry me, baby girl. -2.5 Minnesota.
Woof.
Yeah.
This is the first time this has ever happened.
Your toxic one with my Becky.
I mean, I thought this was just a layup for toxic plays. Just because you're going to feel some type of way holding the ticket after you see the first couple of drives.
Oh, for sure.
If I
see Jefferson do this, yeah, I'm going to be miserable. So
that was your Becky.
Yeah.
That was your Becky. Do you want to go with your toxic one? Since I didn't get a chance to have a moment with you, what is your most toxic play of the week?
My most toxic play of the week, George, since you've asked so politely. This was a borderline Ursulita as well. My toxic one is the Seattle Seahawks -7.5. And listen, talk about feeling like an idiot at some point. They could be up 28-3. Sorry, Falcons fans. I know that number hurts. But that could be the case. This defense against Kirk Cousins is holy shit. But they're getting 83% of the tickets right now. And I know it's Kirk Cousins. I'm playing the number here. Early start time, Seattle. Right? Let's see who Seattle has next week on the schedule. Right? Is it a look-ahead game? Could be. They got the Colts coming into town. Could be a look-ahead. The sniff tests don't pass here.
Interesting.
So I'm taking the toxic one as Seattle -7.5.
Interesting. On the road, they crush teams too. I just cannot get behind that one. I do want to mention this since you've brought up the public number so much. I've got this stat for you. NFL teams getting 60% of the tickets or more are 46-78 against the spread through 13 weeks. This is the worst through 13 weeks in the 23-year history of the Action Network database. So we suck this year. The public, we got to do better. I think it's just a lot of novice bettors coming into the game, and they're just, their eyes get big. Maybe these ticket numbers that they're telling us are a little inflated. Who knows? But the public has been doing really bad. Bodes well for your cases this week.
And you know what else bodes well? 10-4 on the year with the toxic one. If you've been fading the toxic one, you're profitable. So that was it. What do you got next?
I'll give you my Becky. This is a crazy one. This is a very, very crazy one. But the Tennessee Titans are going into Cleveland and the total is set at 33.5, give me the under. Give me under 33.5 in the rookie versus rookie bowl. This is the lowest total in any game since December of last year, when the Dolphins and the Browns closed at 32.5. Since the start of 2010, Nick, this would be the third lowest total in an outdoor game in freezing temperatures, behind the Jets at Patriots in 2023 that finished at 28.5. This situation, like I said, with two rookie quarterbacks, it's happened one other time where a game with two rookie quarterbacks had a total this low, and that game went under. And those two quarterbacks were Jason Campbell and Bruce Gradkowski, and that was in 2006 first with Redskins versus Buccaneers. I can't find a way in which Cam Ward is going to move the ball at all on this Browns defense. The Browns defense at home, dangerous. My only fear with picking the under in this game is that Quishon Judkins and this Tennessee Titans defense, I think he's going to run through them very, very easily. And I worry that they get the running game going early. They put up a couple of touchdowns and they're able to continue scoring while the Rock is staying on the ground. I don't think Shadur is going to have to do too much to win this game. He's just got to put up a guaranteed 16 and they will win. Give me the under. 33.5. Tennessee at Cleveland.
You've been doing well on totals, bro.
Can I give you a stat here that bodes well for these these windy unders? So windy unders in 2025, games with 7 miles per hour or more of wind went 7-1 to the under last week, and then 9-1 in the last 2 weeks. So this is a situation. It's going to be, they're making reports that the entire month of December in like the northeastern part of the country is going to be unreal. Like, I don't think they'll be able to play games in Buffalo. That's how bad the snow is going to be. That's what we're being told, reports. So that's my Becky.
Okay. Let me give you my Ursulita, bro. Ready for this shit?
How ugly can you get?
Very ugly. So my shit detector has gone off with this one. Give me the Saints plus 8.5 going into Tampa. All right. Yo, your boy Shook. Not terrible.
No, he moves around, bro.
Yeah, not bad. Listen, he's like 37.
Get us to 500.
Yeah, he's like 37, but we just need him this week to just cover their 8.5. When they played earlier this year in New Orleans, Tampa Bay was a 4.5 point favorite, right? Now they're 8.5 point favorites at home. A lot has changed. Tampa Bay's not as healthy as they were there, but they do get Bucky Irvin back. Chris Godwin came back. Why isn't this line 10? Why isn't it Tampa by 10? Why are they hanging 8.5? I think
it's because the Saints defense is starting to figure it out a little bit.
They're playing hard, bro. Listen, them and the Giants, our two favorite teams, they're not as bad as their record indicates.
Correct.
Right?
You are correct.
And they've been spanked a couple times, both of them. But I think this is it's a trap. I think it's a trap. Give me the Saints 8.5 Ursulita.
So I'm so glad that you chose the Saints. I feel honored that my team has been selected for the picks, because I think all year, I think we may have picked the Saints twice. So, we're showing them no love here. And this is good. But to back up my case on the defense playing well, they allowed 12 completions to Tua with no passing touchdowns. And in their last 3 games, they've allowed under 200 passing yards. So they're starting to figure out. I wanted to, for my In This Economy, given the fact that Baker, when he plays the Saints, a majority of the time, if his boys are healthy, they fuck the Saints up. Like, he has the Saints' number. They're, even back when he played a game in Carolina, like, he just has good games against New Orleans. but you got the shoulder, which, I mean, our boy looks rough sometimes when he's throwing it. You could tell this season has put a lot of wear and tear on Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield peaked week 6.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, MVP favorite then and all that, yeah.
Peaked week 6, and now it's just been a struggle bus to get on his way back. I wanted to pick all his overs and make that my parlay for In This Economy, but instead, given the circumstances that I listed with the Saints defense and his injury, I'll give you my In This Economy. Bucky Irving, over 100 rushing yards. You could get that at 4-1 right now. Plus 400, Bucky Irving. I love picking running backs when they come back off an injury fresh late in the season. Everybody looks like they're in slow motion while these guys fly. The Saints have been stopping the pass. I think this is a layup In This Economy. Bucky Irving to get 100 rushing yards.
Okay. All right. I like that. And one more thing to just back the Saints here. A trend. Since 2018, Saints are 15-6-1 on the road versus the NFC South, including 8-0 as an underdog against the spread. And to your point about Baker, when he's played the Saints in his career, 5-1 straight up, 4-2 against the spread. So, yeah, we got a couple of conflicting numbers there. Okay, my last play. Dare I say a borderline trust me? Dare I say a borderline trust me? And this, honestly, this might be the first pick of the year that every single category could fit in this. Jaguars are 1.5 point underdogs at home against the Colts with a quarterback who has a broken fibula. Jaguars, remember when the Jaguars were winning like 1 or 2 games a year and they were beating the Colts still?
Yeah.
They just have their number.
Yep.
And I think the Jaguars can take a commanding lead, beating the Colts head to head in this matchup. They're at home. I really like it. I like it a lot. As a borderline trust me, borderline Becky, borderline Ursulita, because we're back in the Jaguars. You never know what the fucking roller coaster you're going to be on with them. I'm taking the Jaguars there, plus 1.5. I think it's a very weird line. I think I'm taking the better team right now because their quarterback is healthy than the other. So give me the Jaguars plus 1.5 as my In This Economy.
You're so right on that being able to fit all those categories. Like 1,000%. And it was the first one of the year that I can vouch for. That's a solid play there, Mr. Dais. I have one more pick left.
Good.
Ursulita. Ugliest pick on the board. And it was the ugly one, or it was the toxic one last week when I took the Jets money line and it hit. And the Jets at home again are dogs to Tua and the Dolphins. Give me the Jets money line. The weather's going to be 40 degrees. I want you to envision Tua in a long sleeve. I want you to envision Mike McDaniels in a beanie, vaping on the sideline, an offense that can't get moving. The Jets are going to throttle the Dolphins in this game. In road or neutral games in December or later, Tua is 3-8 straight up and against the spread in his career. Some quarterbacks wind up as the year progresses. Tua is the complete opposite. And that is why I think the Jets money line here is so attractive. Plus 130, I'm seeing him at. That is my Ursulita.
Fuck yeah, bro. I like that. I like the Jets again. You know, we were on the Jets last week.
Yep.
As I think they were the toxic
They were the toxic one,
The Falcons were the toxic one, so we were on the Jets. Yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it. Okay, anytime touchdown. I'm going to lead off with mine. It is 40-1. It is 40-1 anytime touchdown parlay. I'm going with Mitchell on the Jets. He's been getting like 8 targets a game since he became the Jets wide receiver.
Facts.
So give me Mitchell, give me Jamar Chase. Mark Andrews just got a contract extension. Maybe we show it off with a little end zone. You know, Lamar, get the ball to him, celebrate him.
Do it.
And then Kareem Hunt on Sunday Night Football. 40-1. 40-1. What else you got?
I'm going with a 2-touchdown parlay special for 2 running backs. Bucky Irving to score 2. And for the Bears, on my fantasy team, Kyle Monangai. Secretly becoming the secret sauce to that Chicago Bears offense. Both of them to score 2 touchdowns. 83-1.
Wow.
I'm not missing out on it, man. I'm not missing out. I'm putting the bets in before I make any edits so I don't have to kick another fucking hole in my door. I'm doing it tonight. 83-1. Bucky Irving to score 2. Kyle Monangai to score 2. That is my anytime touchdown parlay.
Hey, can I give a bonus? It's not really an anytime touchdown parlay, but it's a 30-1 division bet. Panthers, Bears, Jaguars, all to win their division. 30-1.
Packers, Bears,
Packers, Jaguars, Bears. Sorry. Panthers.
Yeah.
Panthers.
Panther. I was like, wait a second.
I said Packers and Bears.
No. You said it correctly the first time.
Okay. All right. Take 3. Correct. Panthers, Jaguars, and Bears. 30-1.
Perfect. I have to put it in now. I don't want to seem stupid. But backing the Panthers after they were on my ban list.
Listen, we talk about
revisit
this.
it.
We talk about this all the time. The segment we did about the ban list, it was for hee-hees and ha-has. In sports betting, you shouldn't have a ban list. Play the number, play the spot, play the situation. That's how you are a successful sports bettor, handicapper, the whole 9. You can't. If a number is good, you got to play the number, bro. You just have to, right? Playing the Falcons this week, +7.5. I like it.
Yeah.
For Seattle. So we know. We call Kirk Cousins a terrorist. He inspired the segment that we got a lot of rave reviews about. But you got to play the number. I like the number. Short-term memory loss, best thing for sports bettors. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. Please rate, review, subscribe, share the content. Yo, tag us if you're listening to us on Spotify and we're on the Wrapped. We feel a tremendous honor, George and I do, if you guys are listening to the show. All of you that listen to the show, patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. Subscribe to the Your Welcome Network. Keep watching the clips on the Veterans Minimum YouTube channel. We got a lot of content flooding fucking everywhere. We get hundreds of thousands of impressions everywhere because we're everywhere. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. George.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've had to pee for the last 5 minutes.
Bro, I can't wait to piss.
Let's go. Bye. We'll see you next week.
I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be